Hi everybody! Today's video is going to be about how to deal with a stepchild's annoying habits. And I'm going to be dealing with it in two ways. So there's two types of annoying habit and you've got to deal with them in different ways according to what type of annoying habit it is. I post once a week, so subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I post. Step-parents can get very annoyed with their stepchildren. More annoyed in a different way than if the children are their biological child. It's because they're not bonded to their stepchild. But this means that if the child is your own, you have a kind of empathy and understanding and kind of you have a sort of, aren't they sweet kind of approach. But when they're your stepchild, you have no such kind of empathy or understanding, and you can't always get to feel the love that you feel for your own child. Therefore, everything your stepchild does is potentially an annoying habit. So if they come in from school and they kick their shoes off and the shoes go in different directions, that can be an annoying habit. If it's your own child, you're quite likely to just tidy them up for them or tell them to do it, or it doesn't bother you so much. So when you're talking about annoying habits and stepchildren, everything can begin to annoy you. The way they touch their hair, the way they hold their knives and forks, the way they always look at you, or the way they open and shut the door, or the way they don't open and shut the door, or the way every single potential little thing has the potential of irritating you. So what can you do about it? Well, there are a number of tips for this, and I'm going to divide it into two different sections. Number one, there's the annoying habit that doesn't really matter. It's the curling of the hair, it's the rubbing of the nose, it's the way they purse their lips, it's the way they walk, it's the way they kick their shoes off, all those kinds of irritating habits, but they aren't really, there's nothing wrong, you're just irritated. Now, with those kinds of irritating habits, it's important that you take time to look after yourself so that you are irritated less. Now, there are various things that you can do to do that, and that is to be out of the room when quite a lot of these annoying habits happen, or to distract yourself with something else when they are, or have a way of recompensating yourself if they do annoy you, and then like sort of get yourself a little glass of water or make yourself a coffee and just give yourself a little bit of a lift for sort of putting up with them. The way you can get these habits to be less is to comment when they're not doing it, because we all do more of what is noticed. So if you notice when they're sitting beautifully and they're not tapping their toes or swinging on their seat or curling their hair, you just say, "You are sitting up nicely. Look at you. You're holding your head straight, you're sitting nicely, you're not tapping." These kinds of things, just draw attention to what they are doing well, and then you'll get more of it. And comment again when you see it again, and that way they will respond. The secret is not to draw attention to them doing it while they are. So if you say, "Stop curling your hair, stop sucking your thumb, stop tapping your toe," you'll just get more of it it's natural to be like that. So that's one section, which is the annoying habits when really they are only annoying habits. The second section of annoying habits is when the child has an annoying habit which has been developed as a result of things that have happened in their past. So let me just explain that to you. Often step families are born from loss, so there's been some other family arrangement that is now no longer. Whether that was the two parents living together and there's been a separation or divorce, maybe it was their mum and dad living together but that mum or dad died, or maybe you would have always been a single parent and the change in their life has been that you've partnered with the single parent and they've become a step family. When children, or not even children, even us as adults, when we're coping with new things and it's not going particularly well, and when we're not really managing, we often develop habits that can kind of soothe us or calm us down or make us feel more in control. So, for example, somebody might find that they've got to do 3 twirls before they can sit down at the supper table, or they maybe need to count the pleats in the curtains before they can go to bed, or they may be just very anxious about something, or always worrying, and in their worrying, they come up with these annoying noises, like clicking of the teeth or tapping of the toe or doing something with the fingers, or all these annoying habits. And those kinds of annoying habits are because of a coping mechanism they've introduced in order to cope with change, and they're having a problem with coping with all the change. Now, what you do about those kinds of problems is that you recognise the problem for what it is. It's a problem with coping with the change, and you sometime when you're calm and not at all flustered about the annoying habit, you can sit down with the child and talk to them about what it is that they do feel out of control about, or that they can't cope with, or what have they found about the changes? How are they coping now? What do they like about their life? What do they find difficult? What do they find sad about what's gone on before? Get them to talk to you about where it is in their body that they may be feeling emotionally, not disturbed, but emotionally upset in some way. And then talk to them about how they may have introduced this annoying habit as a coping mechanism, and that sometimes that it might be an idea to try and stop it, and then put in some experiments and try and get them to do something else instead of the annoying habit. And that way you are addressing the problem at its source. It's really important to get to stepchildren's problems at their source. And then so it's really important to get to stepchildren's problems at their source and really help them grow through these periods of insecurity that we all feel sometimes, but stepchildren especially, so that they can be more self-confident and have a bit more self-esteem, and therefore not have to use these annoying coping mechanisms. Check out the website, which is in the description box below, and we run workshops, sessions, email correspondence exchanges and booklets.